Hello everyone's. I am Lady T506. Welcome to my channel. I am here for Real Housewives of Potomac Season 5 Episode 10. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, you're one of my peoples, welcome back. So we start off with Candace. It has been a few days, maybe a week since the incident, and Candace, she is still traumatized. She isn't still in shock about what happened. Like, this was somebody she considered a friend of hers, and this friend has taken, she drug her across the table. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what happened. It's one thing if we both going back and forth with each other, if we both talking with our hands, if we both talking about the other person while the other person's in the room with somebody else, that's one thing. But when you go to put your hands on me, that's a whole nother situation. Now, I'm under the thinking of, once you touch anything that's on my body, that's when the assault happens. Her flicking Candace's hair, that's when the assault happened. I don't care how much Candace's hand was in her face, because Monique's hand was just as much in Candace's face as Candace was in her face. So, all that. We know Candace talks with her hand. I talk with my hands. If y'all seen any video of mine, y'all seen me talk with my hands. But that does not warrant somebody pulling my hair and dragging me across the table. So she is done with this. She doesn't believe there's any coming back from this. Once you physically put your hands on me, there's no coming back from this. Now, y'all, I've been into one fight in my whole entire life, and I was about 7 or 8 years old at the time. And if I had to ask one simple question, the fight would have never happened. Some girls came up to me and said, yeah, your friend such and such, she want to fight you. They went and told her the same thing. Instead of asking, why do you want to fight me? We just started fighting and didn't talk for a few months, until one day we just asked, why you say you wanted to fight me? I didn't say that. Well, they said that. Oh. And then we squashed it. But if we had to just ask that simple question, things wouldn't have gone that far. I still want to know, what is it that has Monique this angry at Candace? What did Candace do? Now, I'm not believing all this. You invited this girl who was talking mad stuff about me, because if that was the case, you would have been and drug Ashley, because Ashley basically called you an alcoholic and you was out here wrecking cars because you was out here drunk. And Ashley didn't get drugged. You put a umbrella up to Robin for whatever reason. I forgot what reason. She didn't get drugged. Giselle is always talking about you. She didn't get drugged. So what is exactly did Candace do that warned her getting drug across that table and several people having to pull you up off of her? That's what I want to know. Now, Monique, she's remembering certain things, but it's like it's in chunks and pieces. She doesn't know exactly what order things took place in. She remembers talking to a producer. She remembers Candace having her hand in her face. She remembers Candace over here twirling around and doing all this. She remembers a drink being thrown, and she remembers grabbing Candace's hair, but exactly what order things happened in, she doesn't remember. Now, I'm guessing this is her excuse, is she's been exhausted. So she's telling the kids, mommy is really exhausted. Y'all can't come jumping in the bed with us tonight because I'm exhausted. Well, Monique, she's always talking about how tired she is. Just that and the third. And I guess since her business is not so lady's mom's, she can't be out here and just be tired and not want to do anything, because that would clash with the name of her business. But I guess, I don't know if it was Chris, it was her, lawyers, whoever. Now, the reason maybe you attacked Candace is because you was exhausted. But I was like, if you was exhausted, you wouldn't have the energy to attack Candace. So that didn't really make sense with me. So she calls Karen up. She wants to speak to the ladies because she wants to piece this puzzle together to see exactly what happened. Candace will not be there because it's not good for them to be in the same room with each other right now. And I totally agree. So, the ladies, they all arrive. And Giselle has brought her own security. I guess she's in the mind thinking of, if Monique can drag somebody who she considered her friend, there's no hope for me. I done talked about Monique since the day she been on here. And she's liable to drag me. So she got her own security there. Ashley is under the impression that Monique is sorry. even though Monique was out here tweeting certain things. I talked to Monique, and Monique seems very apologetic. She's feeling very sorry, and she was Giselle and Robin are like, is she sorry? Because she was out here tweeting, asking you shall receive. That doesn't seem like somebody is sorry. To me, it seems like, okay, I'm saying I'm sorry, even though I was out here tweeting these things, because I don't want this to look bad on me, my husband, or our brand. I may be wrong, but that's the way, after seeing this episode, how things seemed. Now, Robin, Giselle, and Wendy, they are all under the assumption that Monique or someone from her camp put it out there to the blogs about the altercation, and it was very one-sided. It was very Candace threw a glass of wine at Monique, and Monique reacted, and that's how the altercation assumed. What's the word I'm looking for? That's how the altercation took place. Y'all know it's 9:46 in the morning. I'm trying to get this video done. Forgive me. Ensued. That's the word we're looking for. Yes. So it was very one-sided. It was like Monique was sitting here minding her business, wasn't bothering nobody. There was no fight going on. And, I mean, just Candace out of nowhere just, yeah. And wine was splashed all over Monique, and Monique didn't know what to do but attack. And it's like, that just didn't sound right. Candace threw the drink at her and she retaliated. No, Ashley believes that someone in the barn went to the blogs, and it was like, okay, if that was true, that person would immediately went to the blogs and been like, girl, guess what happened? I was at the barn, and the cast from Real Housewives of Potomac was there, and Candace had a wine glass and she threw it at Monique, and a fight broke out. No, that it would have been immediately, because they would have wanted to be the first person to put it out there. It wasn't until a few days later that the info was put out there. Like, Chris talked to Monique and was like, look here, this is going to look bad when this does come out, since there was cameras there. We need to get ahead of the story. And since Candace was acting and cutting up several fools last year, if we put it out there that Candace threw this wine glass at you, or even, I don't even know if it was Chris or somebody in her camp, we put it out there that Candace threw the wine glass first and you reacted, this is going to look bad on Candace, because people are going to believe this was something that Candace would do. Y'all see, she had the butter knife last season. This will only, add fuel to the fire that this is all of Candace is doing. And I'm not going to lie, I fell right into it. When we first heard of this altercation, I was like, Candace was out here throwing wine glasses. But, I never did look on the side of what happened first. How did wine glass get to throwing? It wasn't just out of nowhere, we talk and have a good time and wine glass was thrown. But hey. Now, Candace, she goes to therapy. So, we see that right before the altercation, as the hair was being flicked, Candace did go to, I was going to go flick at her vest, but she was flicking at her vest. This is when Giselle went to go push, I guess, Monique to, separate this, because she could already see where this was going, and this is how the fight happened. At this point, I don't even care that she was going to flick her vest, because Monique had already initiated it by flicking her hair. This whole season, Candace has walked away and apologized several of the times. Like, okay, you mad that I invited Sharice here. I am sorry. At the birthday event, Ashley, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be yelling at your little baby sipping tea while, baby Dean was out there. I didn't mean to disrespect your house. I'm sorry. At the lake house, I'm sorry that we wasn't out there with you when you was at the bonfire and you was out here roasting marshmallows and all those things. I just thought it would be better if I wouldn't give Ashley a heads up so she wouldn't be blindsided by the blogs. I'm sorry. She's done this over and over again, yet Monique over and over again is taking her frustrations out on Candace instead of everybody else. Now, back at the little this is why things happen. Sit down and tell me piece by piece what happened. Monique tells the lady that she is embarrassed. She's even tearful. And I guess she's calmed down because she says she's embarrassed. She doesn't want this one moment to define who she is, and she apologizes for putting them in harm's way. Monique says a drink was thrown and she blacked out. And the last thing she remembers, the producer was like yelling in her ear, Monique, Monique, let go, let go, let go. But the footage did not back up what she was saying to the ladies. The footage showed her clearly back there behind the door with the producer going blow by blow what happened. I flicked her hair. I grabbed her hair. Wine was thrown in my face. All these things. And even afterwards, her running around the barn trying to get at her. And Robin was the first to speak. Well, I guess the second. Because Giselle was like, hold on, let me get my notes together before you go in, tell either this is either a lie what you're telling or you want us to believe that you don't remember any of these things. But Robin says, you almost had me there. I almost believe that this is how you feel. But the thing is, the wine that was thrown in your, she said wine, until you said wine was thrown in your face. Candace had white wine. You had red wine all on you. So it wasn't Candace throwing wine in your face. It was during this whole kerfuffle, people had wine glasses in their hand, and their immediate reaction was, let me get Monique off of Candace, and not let me put my wine glass down, then get Monique up off of Candace. You got wine on you in the mix of this tussle because it was several people trying to get you off of her. You may have gotten scratched by a producer or one of the castmates when we was trying to pry you off of this girl. Like, if you were so embarrassed, then why did you leak it to the blogs and make it seem like Candace was at fault? If you were so embarrassed. Now, Monique says that, going to the blogs is not her style. She didn't remember about the wine incident until 2 days later. I was like, well, this is not what you told the producers, and this is not what you told Chris. You was completely coherent when you was telling what went down. It's like, even though the timeline fits that it was her or somebody in her camp. Because you're like, well, I remember about the wine glass like 2 days later, and I spoke it to somebody, but I didn't tell the blogs. It's like, this fits where it came from your camp. If it wasn't from you, it was somebody you told, making it seem like this was all on Candace. You went out of your way to make it seem like this was all Candace's fault and Candace's fault alone. Now, Candace, she's over therapy talking about nothing she did warranted this fight. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes. I'm sorry, I keep on looking down. She's like, yes, last year her delivery was all wrong. I did a lot of things wrong, but this year I approached things differently. I've apologized to Monique for inviting Sharice to my event. I apologize for her for monopolizing Ashley's time when I was trying to tell Ashley what went on with her husband. I've apologized up, down, left, right, and sideways. I've apologized, and nothing I did warranted me being attacked. Nothing. So even though Ashley was in the bathroom and she seen none of this fight, she feels that Monique acted out once, but she just wants her to do better going forward. So I was like, okay, so how come is it that every time you turn around, you want to bring up Candace taking this butter knife in your face? How come this is not a, acting out once type of situation? It wasn't like y'all was talking, y'all was arguing, and she was and grabbed a butter knife. No, she was eating her food, cutting up her salad, and she had the butter knife in her hand as she was talking with her hands. And now all of a sudden she's violent. She threw the knife at you, it did not hit you, but you keep on bringing that up. So how come Candace can't get the same respect? Monique, she acted out this one time. Oh, we need to forgive her. But Candace do something. We gonna remember what she did when she was 2 years old, and we gonna keep on bringing this up. Giselle says This isn't the first time her threatening somebody. You threatened to punch me in my face. You threatened Robin with an umbrella. You even threatened to drag Candace last season while you was pregnant. And this season, you made good on that threat. I don't feel safe around you. I even told my daughters what happened. I was like, why you telling your daughters that Monique and Candace got into a fight? But now all of a sudden her daughters, they don't want her around Monique because they don't want Monique jumping on their mama. It could be that they know their mama be talking reckless and they don't want their mama to get jumped. So now she gotta leave because she gotta think about her and Jamal's reputation. She can't be out here socializing with people who fighting. But I was like, Jamal cheated on you before, during, and after y'all was together, and you didn't got back with him. Got babies on you. But this, y'all can't have this in y'all life? Okay. Monique says wait a minute, I'm trying to, what I wrote don't make no sense, and I'm thinking it's autocorrect. Oh, Monique says that she blacked out and she came to while pulling Candace's hair, but that whole running around the bar, she was fully aware of all her senses. She says she's embarrassed, but she's not remorseful. Like, adrenaline is still pumping to her, and she doesn't know how she feels about Candace. Monique feels that someone putting their hands in your face and antagonize you, that's just as bad as them putting their hands on you. And I was like, no. Because me doing all this and me antagonize you is not going to send me to jail. Me grabbing you and whopping your head, rocking your head, that can get me sent to jail. Say that Candace had some underlying medical condition and you hit her one wrong way. Or not even having medical condition and you hit her one way and she ends up dying. You going to jail. Yeah. I don't care how much somebody got their hands in my face. That does not warrant you putting your hands on them. You initiated the fight when you flicked that girl's hair. Now, this is where I'm thinking she had to do damage control. And this is why she's been, in her confessionals and doing interviews left, right, up and down, and sideways. Because she needs to get people on her side. And her just fighting Candace wasn't just going to do it. She had to have a justifiable reason to why I'm doing it. So, yes, she was mad that Charisse was invited to their wedding anniversary. But it wasn't that big of a deal. But she had to make a big of a deal in her confessionals after the fight happened. So now I have to put 20 on 10. I had to put 20 on 10. I think that's how it goes. Roll with me. She had to put 20 on 10. Okay, fighting already didn't happen. How can I start this season off with me, going on interviews every week so I can justify my actions and me continuously bringing up as to why my anger is building up and building up. Okay. Charisse and Gigi or whatever her ex-friend or who she thought was her friend, they was out here, or Gigi was, or a combination of both, was out here spreading lies. I can say that Candace knew that I didn't like Charisse, and her inviting her hurt me. So I'm going to bring that out the first episode. Oh, Candace, you knew that she was out here doing A, B, C, and D to me. So that hurt me, you bring this girl here. That, step one is this is why things escalated into me fighting her. Okay, you bring a little bit of Ashley situation in there. That's step two. You jumping in people's marriages. Every time that even though Candace was apologizing and doing everything, she was going to use this reason and this reason alone as to why she ended up fighting Candace. Like, I'm going to give y'all excuses even though it don't make sense and timeline don't make it. Because this whole situation was supposed to happen in 2018. The fight happened in 2019. So she had to jump ahead of things. And like, okay, the first episode, she knew I don't like Charisse. Therefore, I'm going to use this as a reason to why things escalated in the way they did. That's how I'm feeling. I may be completely wrong. But y'all know the confessionals are taped after the season is done. That's why everybody looks the same, got on the same outfits and all of these things, is because they've already experienced everything. And how can she make herself look good and not look bad in the public's eye? Because Candace hasn't been doing anything to where to be looking like, yeah, I can see why she wanted to jump on Candace. But if I put it out there that, my family was hurt by this, maybe I can get somebody on my side. Even though Candace, not one time on this season has she brought up anything about a trainer, Monique, or Chris, or this baby. But Giselle has. So y'all, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It's free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on. So when my beautiful face puts up a video, you can click on it, you can like it, you can share it with your people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples. If you're already one of my peoples, welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people to tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. Now, this is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.